We welcome you here to Kendall Ice Arena in Kendall, Florida. We have Game 2 of our two-game University of Miami doubleheader between the University of Miami Hurricanes, who are sitting at 1-3-0 in their 4 games played, against the visiting USF Bulls. They sit at 1 win and 2 losses after playing their first 3 matches of the season so far. Hello and welcome. My name is Ryan Lee. Alongside me is Connor Stein. And Connor, we just saw the D2 sides just go at it in a very much a nail-biter game that ended 5-4, and now the D3 sides get a chance to take their chance. With USF, it's very much a brand new roster, but with Miami, there's a couple holdovers from D2 who are doubling up. What do you have to say about the way things can pan out in this next 60 minutes of play?
Yeah, I mean, we look at some of the guys on the roster. We got Nathan Koo, obviously. That would be a big difference maker that just played in that D2 game. It'll be cool to see how this one plays out.
As we get started here in the opening minutes of play here at Kendall Ice Arena in Kendall, Florida, University of Miami Hurricanes. They will be wearing green. They'll go from right to left. The USF Bulls in the whites with the green pants, they'll go from left to right in this first period of play. As we start things off in Kendall for Game 2 of our doubleheader, as it'll be played back in the defensive end by Seal Lenahan. A couple of holdovers from the Division II side will play in this D3 game for the University of Miami, while for the USF Bulls, it's essentially a brand new roster going in from game to game. As one of the new guys, Skinger, tries to enter, but he's stuck with the puck back at neutral ice, where it's going to be dumped in by the Hurricanes. Attempting to hit him on the money, but it's taken away by Asher Berman. Not before the Bulls take it back, and it's dumped in by Colby Mang. Mang collects, shakes off a hit, comes back to a teammate with Dylan O'Connor as it goes back to Mang in the corner. Interception there by Berman as it makes its way towards center. Too far for Luka Fox as he cannot keep up. Mang tries to go. Instead, it goes for Kashikani, one of those guys that we mentioned. They're playing double duty today. Let's hope they got a sandwich or something between games, because if that first game wasn't a testament of what could come, you got guys like Kashikani, like Brandon Stein, Nate Koo among them who are playing in both games. So that could really test some of the legs that some of these half D2, half D3 guys have, considering they are playing both games today.
Yeah, well, when you play back-to-back games, and in my experience, you just know, you just gas. You just got to conserve your energy well, and we will see how they develop throughout this game.
Considering how things panned out in the 5-4 finisher in the D2 side, who knows how much gas left in the tank for some of the guys like Koo and Kashikani, but it makes its way back to center ice where Jackson Keller will take over. Miami makes a couple of changes, so Keller dumps it in deep, goes off of a banner and out.
So far, though, a very slow-paced game. Not too much to talk about so far, but they will have a center ice face-off, basically reset things here with 17:51 left to go. What I look for in this Canes team, though, we saw a lot in their Florida Tech win. Just a lot of perseverance and fight within this squad.
That last one off of the officials, so it just fluttered back to center ice as it's dumped out by USF. Big hit there, and that'll draw the first penalty in retaliation. Rightfully so, as there was some aggressive contact on that far wall, as we will have the first power play on the board in favor of USF. So we already saw how things panned out for the D2 squad, considering how the coaching staff is the exact same. There could be a similar philosophy in terms of the power plays of the two units. We saw the first game go 2 for 6 in favor of USF on the power play. We'll see how things go for this D3 side as they get their first power play opportunity of the game. Wide angle try, saved by Brooks. Rebound in front, and that one's tucked in. And that will be the first goal of the game for USF on the power play, as it was poked in by Jacob Dunlap to open things up.
Just a little bit of a sloppy start of the penalty kill. Just right off the draw, you see the Bulls just complete one pass, and then all of a sudden it's a rebound and a goal there for Dunlap.
Only 2 minutes and 24 seconds into the game, and Miami is already down one. We saw this happen in the D3 game where they went down early in the first period because they let one in through the power play, something that Miami has done 7 times so far in this season, allowed a goal in the power play. That is the third most in the third division of College Hockey South.
A little bit of deja vu for both teams, I guess you could say.
Wide angle attempted with Skinger. He wanted to go in tight. Skinger holds, shoots, goes too high on USF's goaltender Ryan Cook. Back to the point. Michelini lets that one fly from distance. Loose for Cook, and that one's in! have equalized only seconds later. And the tap in is converted by Louis Del Duco.
I mean, what a way to answer back there for the Canes. We kind of see here. We didn't really catch it on our replay, but it was a little bang, 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 bang play there by Del Duco. And the Canes even it back up.
That only took 35 seconds between goals. And just like that, UM went from down one to equal at one.
I mean, a lot of similarities just off the rip with both of these games, the D2 and D3 game. Just maybe missing a bit of that physicality, as I would like to say, but nevertheless, it's 1-1.
A chance for USF to dump it all the way down where it's collected by Owen Gupta, who wraps it around. Stuck in the corner, no one able to get it, so Gupta will come back for it. He's all alone. Gupta attempted to bank it off the boards, can't get it out as USF keeps it in. As it's in tight for Jackson Keller up in front. He wanted to feed his man, that was going to be Nick Rem, but couldn't get it through. Nick Rem and Keller, they combined to give Dunlap the opening score. Now a 2-on-1. Callahan, he flubs. Second chance goes before it's corralled by Cook. And we already see some intensity flying in the second game already, as we just saw some pushing and shoving after the end of that. And who knows how that will transpire, considering how game one went.
Just on a big topic, I mean, the way that they went to the zone, they could have cleaned that pass up a little bit, just get it a little bit cleaner of a feed, and that could have ended up in the back of the net very well, but just still trying to gel with this team.
Kashikani dumps it in deep where it's held into the corner by Nick France. He's pestered along the boards as one of the UM players just bodied him off, but it's taken back again by Colby Mang. Mang into the offensive end, kicked away by Brooks. Kashikani cannot collect. Del Duco getting his first goal of the season, puts this game at one aside. Still USF deep in the Miami end. Eventually they swipe it out, where it's a foot race attempted there by Asher Berman, but he cannot win that. As some miscommunication in the UM bench, they have to let it fly to prevent too many men on the ice. Now it's Charles Brandenstein. He got an assist, leaves it behind, tries to go for Berman. No follow-up chance there, as no one could quite poke it home. But now it's a chance for USF. They have a 3-on-2. They couldn't get it across as the feed for DIII was cut off. Goes for Asher Berman, who will dump it in towards the corner. Only man there is Vanish Manmohan Singh. There's just a scrap in front of the USF bench. Manmohan Singh comes back at center. Bank it off the boards when Michelini's the first one there, getting harassed by Carter Sullivan, the USF captain. Played to the corner. No one able to get it free. Wide angle try. Goes off a stick. Kyle Fink with the attempt. The Pearl Harbor native gives the first chance on goal after the goal by USF.
I want to go back to that Del Duco goal. It's just great to see some of the younger guys contribute to this roster. I think that's how they can remain competitive if there's more contribution from everyone.
It sputters into the USF end, where the only one coming back is going to be Lenahan, as Gupta will get it out. Lamont from a wide angle. Brooks watches that one go across his face as Gupta gets it before it can make its way to Sullivan. A chance up the ice for Anzali, but it's disrupted for USF once more with Sullivan, and now it's a chance. Sullivan in the high slot, cannot get that one to fly. Lamont again, holds on. USF makes a change. And now it's a turnover opportunity. It's a chance for Francesco Anzaldi. He slips on his own 2 feet, and it's a chance for the Bulls to reclaim. Seven seconds deep into this first period of play in a 1-1 game, where USF sent that one towards Brooks. I don't think he realized that one went off him, as that one floats in the air. Rebound is swatted down, but not in. Keller keeps it in play. Well wide, held on. Harden Shura keeps it in before it's attempted from distance by Wanvig, and it's taken away by Nate Koo. He's another one of those guys going back-to-back with Ricky Kashikani. Kashikani, what a move, what a shot! Couldn't get it through. But it's Kashikani once more, goes off a body. Kashikani still on it. Kashikani with a shot. He goes wide. Those are 2 nice chances for Kashikani. He's back on it again. He doesn't look like he's played back-to-back games because he's been flying since this last shift. Kashikani again with a try again, but he misses again. They're going to dump it around, but not out. Kashikani out wide, in front. Koo couldn't get the berry as it hits the side of the net. In front, and it's taken away from Shira.
Kashikani playing very similar to how he played in that first D2 game.
Icing against the USF Bulls, and you saw, or you mentioned right there how Kashikani has been playing very similarly, but the hustle for Kashikani has been very much there as well.
Yeah, we saw here just a great tip in front for him. He makes a play, gets around his defender, and just almost buries it, but a great coast-to-coast save by Cook.
Ryan Cook, the freshman, he's a Fort Lauderdale native, so he's very much coming home in a way. Well, it's an hour drive, maybe even a longer drive than that with all the traffic with Taylor Swift in town this weekend. For 3 days, nonetheless. How bad will traffic be now?
We experienced that a lot on our way here, man. Trust me, the broadcasters are dealing with it a lot.
Stuck in the USF zone as it's chased down by Ryan Maxwell, but he is pickpocketed by Joyce. Joyce and Maxwell continue to scrap, and Joyce tries to get it around for Asher Berman. Berman takes his man to the boards. It's Lynch. Lynch takes a tussle from behind, and it's eventually taken away from Maxwell. Nice stick lift by Joyce, and now a chance at the offensive end. Shimmy and shake it goes. Attempt goes wide from Siegerman, but he cannot make it towards net, where eventually it falls back towards center, and Kashikani, who is the D3 captain, will start flying into the offensive end. Kashikani wanted to feed a man in front, Siegerman, but it was blocked before it could get there. Siegerman and Kashikani fight for it in the board. Siegerman and Kashikani collect. Up, not out. Kashikani, Ricky Kashikani with a delivery. That one goes off the knob of the stick. That one went off the, and that one eventually gets tapped in as the follow-up effort gets buried, and UM is now up 2-1. Matt Callahan leads the line. Back-to-back games, gets a goal to go.
You see this kept in here by Michelini. Michelini does a great job getting a shot on net, and then Siegeman kind of goes behind the net and then finds his man right in front. Callahan buries it, and it's 2-1 Canes.
Matt Callahan, one of the 4 players on this roster who went back-to-back. Only 1 goal on the season with the D2 squad, has not scored yet with the D3 team, but finally gets one through.
But that was what I was talking about earlier. All those I can't even think of the word. All those goals scored by the young guys. I mean, that's exactly what this team is looking for.
A chance from distance, blocked away by Brooks. Into the corner it goes before it falls to the point. Maxwell from distance took a deflection into the corner. Nathan Koo lets that one fall for him so that he can let his teammate Luca Fox dump it out of the zone. Here goes Dunlap. He scored the lone goal for USF so far. Back to the point, eventually taken away. Koo banks it. He's got a man, Skinger. Skinger's got a man in front, but he hesitates. Skinger in front, spinorama shot, covered up by Cook.
Man, Skinger is just one of those guys on this team that I know will get one in the back of the net eventually. He's such a dynamic player, looking for just any kind of option on this replay, and then he just decides to take it himself and gets a shot on net. But one of those opportunities will fall for him, I'm sure of it.
Skinger, another one of those freshmen. He's played 6 games for University of Miami, 4 of them with his D3 squad, and 2 of them with the D2 team. Back to the point, wanted to go for Kashikani, but it took a deflection, so it goes all the way back into the corner. Matt Rocket couldn't collect, so it's Michelini again. Kashikani for Rocket. Wanted to go around, but instead it's cut off by Fink. Played along the boards, Rocket jars it loose. Sent towards net, well wide. Rocket recollects. Kashikani towards net, took a huge bump into the boards, and this should be a penalty against the USF, and it will be.
Man, his body's dealt with a lot this game, and the last game as well, as the Hurricanes will head on the power play with a 2-1 lead. Now, if you're the Hurricanes here, this is a way to further establish that lead that you now have. Any goal helps, and they will get their top unit, Skinger. I believe that is Callahan.
So it's going to be Kyle Fink, the sophomore, playing in his only 4th game of the season. He will go into the penalty box as it's sent up but not out. Kept in play by Skinger, who will leave it to the point for Kashikani. Michelini wanted to go for Skinger, but he was off target, so Wanvig. So the elbow is going to be the penalty against Fink, where Miami are still back on it behind the net of Cook. Nathan Koo amongst the many fighting with Callahan. Back to the point goes Michelini. Matt Callahan in front, couldn't get the tip on. That was attempted by Skinger, but it went wide instead. Henry Skinger back on it, and he leaves it behind where he drops it off for Brandon Stein. Also playing on a back-to-back, already an assist on that opening Callahan goal. Skinger. Koo. He's got a man at the point, but elects to go for Callahan in the corner instead. Brandon Stein. Hold as he had a man, Nick Rem, right in his face. Callahan returns for Brandon Stein. He gets past him, takes a shot, wanted to go for net, but it deflects wide. Michelini across. Goes for Brandon Stein. Tipped up in the air. Callahan with a chest and the rebound almost goes through. Goes wide. Nate Koo collects. 32 to go in the power play. Up top, Brandon Stein fires. Rebound. Save made. Callahan couldn't get the bury. 22 on the man advantage. Wanted Callahan in the slot. Kept in by Brandon Stein. Callahan in the corner, has Koo in the slot. Wants the feed for Koo. Stuck in front as it goes off a USF defender. 10 seconds to go on the power play. The elbowing against Fink as it could not be kept by Brandon Stein. And that will be it for the power play. But it wasn't for a lack of trying, as the opportunities were there. No one could bury. But Michelini already re-enters. It goes in front for Koo. Gets a kick away from Cook. Wide open on the near side goes Colby Mang. He's got a wide open lane. Wide. as he got bodied off there from Fox. Cook with a stick towards Mang. Icing against the Canes as Gupta touches it first. But despite not necessarily scoring on those last couple of opportunities, especially on the power play, it was definitely worth the try at least.
No, yeah, great cycling overall. Koo now, he had the puck for majority of that shift, and then Brennan Stein, one of those players that's playing back-to-back, getting a great shot on net. But nothing availed, but it was a great attempt there by the Canes.
Mang just sends it in deep where Miami will collect. Just shy of 6 to go in the first. Around the boards, Owen Gupta scrapes it off the boards. Shiraw. And eventually it's taken by the Canes. Backhander attempted by John Joyce. As it just comes back to the defensive end, and Miami will clear it. Too much. No icing, as one official calls for the icing, the other one waves it off. Good to know the referees are keeping each other accountable as well. As the wide angle try, and that one makes its way through for the equalizer. We're in for a 2-2 game here in the first period. Alexei Petrov leading the line for USF as they tie things up at 2.
Yeah, the Hurricanes just kind of get caught sleeping. Great breakout here by the Bulls. That was Smargon. Smargon buried it, and it is now 2-2 with 15-13 left to go. The Hurricanes kind of got lazy on their back check, and now they pay for it with a goal.
A try with speed goes Carter Sullivan. He wheels it around. Sullivan wants to take the lead with a shot. That one goes through the barrage of bodies, and it gets claimed outside of the zone by Michelini. Michelini with a try. That's kicked away by Cook. Michelini couldn't touch up as he was offside, but it's still in for the Bulls. It's DIII. DIII walks in, takes a shot off of a body. That's Michelini. USF already back in the offensive zone. Kicked away by Brooks. No rebound there, as it will be a penalty upcoming.
They're going to get...
As the referee, they're trying to point out their guy because there were too many men on the ice.
One of those silly penalties that you don't want to take when you're tied 2-2.
USF got their first goal on the power play. They'll get their second attempt on the man advantage. Neither of these teams have scored shorthanded so far, but as we saw in the D2 game, Miami will very much take those attempts shorthanded if they have them. They just maybe won't come every single time. But that is going to be 2 minutes for Ethan Block going in to serve the too many men for Tom Mello. So it'll be a power play for 2 minutes, 4 1/4 to go in the first period of play. Miscue on the pass attempt by South Florida, so they'll play this one back at center. Disruption there, Callahan's alone. Callahan kicked away by Cook. A nice shorthanded chance by Matt Callahan. Kept in play, it's just dumped in by Brandon Stein. Callahan again shorthanded. Callahan's been on a tear. He doesn't look like he's played 2 games. Leaves it, shoots, save by Cook. Rebound, still loose, spinorama shot. What a save by Cook again. How did that one stay out on the spinorama try from Callahan? Now all alone, Landon DeWright across, saved by Brooks. Stuck along the boards, no one able to get it free. Landon DeWright the only one. As it gets clipped back to center where USF will have to reset. 1 minute to go in the power play for South Florida with 3:11 to go in the first period of play. Here goes John Kroc. He'll wheel it through before it's dumped out by Hartung. It's up but not out. As attempting to wiggle free is Nickram. Near side, backhander, attempting to tuck in, couldn't do so was Dunlap. He was looking for number 2 on the power play. But the power play is another 33 seconds left to go as it makes its way for Kroc. Kroc up top, Lamont. Over for Nickram. Nickram leaves it for Lynch. And that is cleared by the Canes.
Great penalty thus far for the Hurricanes as they go for a much-needed change.
2.5 to go in this first period of play in a 2-2 game. 8 seconds remain in the power play for the USF Bulls. Walking in goes Mang. Near angle try off of Brooks and up top. Attempted deep shot for Fox, but they couldn't connect. As it will be held on by Ricky Kashikani as his side makes a change. I'm sure they want to prevent a too many men penalty like last time, as he was looking to go deep, as John Joyce was all alone in the center circle. Double strikeout there from the couple of moves made there from Rockets. And now it's Kashikani from a wide angle. Swatted away by France on the follow through. And Gupta backs up as it's attempted there by Kyle Fink. Fink works on Gupta. Fink scores! A quick rush by the Bulls puts them back on top. It's 3-2 USF.
Fink kind of does this all himself. He gets the breakout from his fellow Ice Bowl and just kind of gets around the 2 defenders. And I don't even know if Brooks was even ready for that shot. Just popped the bottle off top shelf. And it's now 3-2 Ice Bulls.
It also looked to me, at least, a little bit like Gupta was a little bit indecisive because he was close enough to play the puck and keep it in, but he elected to back up and try to go back on defense instead, and he was stuck between a rock and a hard place and couldn't get back in position on time. USF back in their own zone, but it's intercepted from Anzaldi. Into the corner, couldn't keep it in. Final minute in the first period of play where we already have 5 goals, 3 for the Bulls, 2 for the Canes. Daffren drops it, shoots it, Brooks with a save, rebound, still loose, no one can get it clean. Shiro goes to the corner, it's tussled. Around the boards, broken twig on the ice, kept in by Keller. Final 30 seconds to go. The official just threw the blade over the glass as Callahan enters. Callahan fires and swallowed up by Cook.
Yeah, on this replay we see here, the Canes do a great job exiting the zone, go back and forth, and Zaldi and Callahan, and just a great save there by Cook.
Brian Cook, he was last in versus FAU on the 21st of September in that 4-2 loss against the D3 side of the Florida Atlantic Owls. As that one gets played near side. Final 17 seconds left to go. Capped in by Michelini, or at least attempted to, and now it's a chance in the other direction for Dunlap. Dunlap couldn't get through. One last try for Miami with 6 seconds left to go. Matt Callahan shows things off. Callahan from the high slot takes a shot, takes a body, and that'll be it for the first period of play.
Overall, I didn't mind that period from the Hurricanes. back and forth, very even team-wise. Seems like both of these teams are wanting to battle hard, but obviously the Ice Bulls hold the advantage now.
So after all is said and done, a pair of goals by the USF Bulls in quick succession allow them to not only get the lead once, they get the lead to end the first 20 minutes of play. 3-2 is your score after the first. We'll be back with the second period of play when we return. We return here for the start of period number 2 between the University of South Florida Bulls and the University of Miami Hurricanes, where the Bulls currently have a 3-2 lead on the Canes after a couple of quick back-to-back goals. It's been a back-and-forth game so far where it hasn't really strived away from what it has been. It's been Bulls-Canes the entire way through, which is why we have 5 goals with the advantage going towards USF after 20 minutes of play. Ryan Lee alongside Connor Stein, and despite some of the carryover of maybe some of the emotions, the tactics obviously with similar coaching staffs, but despite very similar maybe tactics in play or similar philosophies, it's been a very different game from how things panned out in the D2 game in the first half of the doubleheader.
Yeah, no, for sure. Both of these rosters are very well even, I would say. I mean, back and forth basically the entire game. Not really one side getting over the other, but this is the period where I think we'll see that difference. I think we'll see a difference of skill level, maybe a team drifting a little bit as we look forward into this second period.
Well, we saw a 6-goal second period in the last game of the doubleheader, as we had a 4-2 period in the D2 game, but there's not a lot of crossover here between the D2 side and the D3 side, at least that we can talk about so far. But that doesn't mean that it's not without its opportunities, because both teams most certainly have been getting their chances towards net. It's just that no one has necessarily been putting them back to really get the true stranglehold on the period that we may have expected. But nonetheless, we are back here for period number 2 for the second set of 40. For the second set of 20 to conclude 40 minutes of play. University of Miami, they're in the all green. They will go from left to right to start off this second period of play. USF right to left in the all whites as we get ready at center ice with Henry Skinger and Dylan O'Connor at the faceoff dot with Ryan Cook and Jamie Brooks. And this has been a nice recovery game for Brooks, despite having his last performance be an 8-0 game against the FAU D3 squad on opening weekend. They split the last weekend of play against FIT, a win and a loss here at Kendall. They want to try to start things off with a W here in game 1 of 2 between USF and UMiami in D3. This is actually the first of 4 consecutive games between the Bulls and the Canes. Brooks kicks out one aside on the shot from the point as it is fluttered towards Skinger. Skinger's got numbers. His shot takes a body that was in front by Wanvig. And a quick poke up from Koo jars the puck loose. Michelini dumps that one ahead, so his teammates can make a change in the first minute. Deep try attempted. Gupta with the cutoff. Gupta weaves past and gets possession again. Gupta, wide angle, kicked away by Cook. Rebound in front. Still a scramble. No one can get it through. Puck played along center, attempting to wiggle past. And couldn't quite get there, as the Bulls got to be careful. They almost had too many men, but Matt Callahan comes into the offensive end where he holds, he shoots off of a leg. Gupta, second try, off of Cook, up in the air, rebound, scores! A scramble play in front provides a 3-3 equalizer. UM, back level.
I mean, we talk about the importance of getting the puck on net. Our replay couldn't quite catch it, but Gupta really did a great job getting that puck on net. And I believe that was Hartung who buried it. And it's now 3-3, all netted up. But as I was saying, though, very even game.
The second period was the turning point in the D2 game. Could be for the D3 side as they score first. But a quick turnover for Sullivan. Tries to send it across. Brooks watches that one fly past him. Deflection up in front has Sullivan again behind the net. Sullivan in front. Rebound loose. Brooks on it. He still claims it. still in for the Bulls. DIII tries to keep it in. He swipes that one towards net. No wraparound. There's a heavy hit along the boards. That was Luka Fox who laid out his man. Into the slot. No one able to poke it in, but it's held on by Lenahan. Lenahan steps up, plays it back. Backhander goes wide. Attempted there by Luke Lamont as the close shot just skims across the goal line and out.
Canes got to get this one out of the zone.
Still in deep, outside of the net, dumped down and icing against Miami. But because Cook touched it, that actually negates the icing, so now both teams will have a chance to get fresh legs out. That was a flub there from the freshman Cook. And now USF will be dinged down for an offside.
Man, one of those freshman mistakes that you see, as I said earlier in the game, freshman jitters that we saw. We see this kind of great circling there by the Bulls and just trickles off the pad of Brooks.
Popping a tire goes Maxwell as they collide into the corner, but taken back by Lynch. Turn around the other direction goes Nick Rem. Connor Nick Rem, a junior from Wesley Chapel, tries to cut inside before he is disrupted by Miami. Brandon Stein couldn't get it out as it's held in on the point by France. Nick France back to center, and now it's a chance, and here goes John Joyce. John Joyce with a head of steam, slaps that one off of the knob of Cook's stick.
Cook's got to be thinking his stick there.
We've seen a couple of those shots go off of the knob. We saw in the D2 game and the D3 game for both Leniak and for Cook. But here goes Ricky Kashikani. He holds up as he lets that one fly across the line. UM makes a change, distance try, glove down by Cook. And that'll do with 15:51 in the seconds.
Overall, a pretty clean start for the Canes. They got that goal, that equalizer that they needed to get. And overall, I mean, I'm pleased with what I've seen so far. What about you, Ryan?
And for USF, their D3 squad, this back-to-back with the UM D3 squad, this is USF's only 2 games in the entire month of October. So maybe there's a play of not getting enough game reps, because potentially it could pan out later in the game, but it hasn't seen so far, as the lack of games and the lack of reps can potentially play with you mentally, potentially.
Yeah, no, for sure. I've had games where, like, for example, not in October, in January, February, I had a game. We had 1 game in January because of the long Christmas break, and then like 4 or 5 in February. It takes a toll for sure. It gets the team mental a little bit messed up because you haven't played with each other in a while. So we could see some of the effects of that here for USF.
Last time they played was on 20th and 21st against FAU back in Tampa. Those were both losses to the Owls. But now trying to get in is going to be Shiraw as it makes its way to the corner for Petrov. Petrov with the goal already as it has to be a quick turnaround for Brooks, and it makes its way back to center for Keller. Bank it off the ceiling, out of play. And for the University of Miami, they have played games this month. They played on the 4th and 5th against FIT, the Florida Institute of Technology, where they were able to split those games with a loss following a win. Miami trying to make it back-to-back. And it's a lot different coming off of a back-to-back with a win off of a weekend versus having taken a couple of losses. Already starting things off with the D2 squad getting their 2nd win of the season. Miami's D3 squad looked to do the same as it makes its way
Heads up.
over the overhead mesh.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
That almost nailed us.
So there is a mesh over the glass, but it actually went over the mesh into the stanchion, and it went maybe right in between myself and Connor and our camera operator, Abby. And I guess the guys on the ice aren't the only ones who have to keep a heads up.
My goodness. As we try to recollect ourselves here, as we almost lost a couple teeth.
On the bright side though, both these 2 games, it's not without having to be alert at all costs, that's for sure. as that is icing against UM.
I was going to say in their previous game, this D3 team against Florida Tech, for those of you who didn't watch, it was a great, gritty comeback from this squad. And it's kind of, that grittiness is still coming over into the second game. Lots of physical play, but a lot cleaner puck. That's what you want to see from your younger guys especially. An offensive draw here now for the Ice Bulls. O'Connor's going to step in now with the rocket. O'Connor loses that one, and it goes around the boards.
With 14 minutes to go in the second period of play, USF already back in it in the Miami end, where they try to get it free with Dylan O'Connor, who makes the backhand around. Back to the point, long distance try, off of a body, as it makes its way back, and now a 3-on-2 for the Canes if they work in pursuit. John Joyce elects to dump it around instead of just charging for the net. And that'll make its way towards Brandon Stein before it comes back towards center ice, where Ricky Kashikani will recollect. 22 for 22, Kashikani right to the stick of Dunlap. Now it's a chance for Joyce to potentially reclaim, but instead it's USF. USF with a wholesale change, as that is a little off target from Fox, but not enough for icing. Both sides make their respective changes. 7 minutes deep in the second. 3-3 is where we stand as it's dropped off for DIII. DIII with a bank. Back for DIII, tries to go again. Brandon Stein sends it down. Is it enough for icing? No, it will not be. As it is going to be sent in. Nico France, that one goes well high. Anzaldi has a man, Ethan Block. Just sends that one towards the corner so we can engage in a board battle. And it is cut off there by Charles Brandenstein.
Brandenstein got a little elbow there that got uncalled.
USF had to go back because they were offside. Block was not on the same page with his man Joyce. And now it's a chance for the USF Bulls. Wide angle, Brooks in front, still in front of the net, but couldn't get buried. Charles Brandenstein spins the wheels. Brandenstein 3-on-1 with a save. Rebound, no one can get it through. Still stuck along the corner. No one able to get it free. Back to the point for Brandenstein. Kept in play for Berman. Tussle in the corner. Block and supports. Block and Berman try to work on Fink. In front of the net, no one knows where it is. Top of the slot, taken away by the Bulls, and now they've got a 2-on-1. Poked away by Michelini to force offside. Nice defensive stick from Michelini to poke it out of play and make USF offside. And that came right after James Brooks had to come up with some magic on the goal line.
Yeah, just, we see here on the replay, just a USF offensive opportunity. They get a shot, and then Brooks just standing on his toes, making sure nothing gets past him. I mean, UM goaltenders so far have done a pretty good job keeping shots out of harm's way.
Good thing for Tom Amello is that no matter who he puts in net, he's got some experience, as all three goalkeepers he has available do have prior experience with this squad, whether that be Max Hoffman, who played in the D2 game, Jamie Brooks, who did predominantly the D3 goalie, or even Harlan Jackson, who has split his time between the two squads. As that goes off of the skates of Jake Lynch, a senior from Lithia. And now it will be a foot race where it's a swing and a miss for Cook. It'll be taken over by Del Duco. Stuck in Del Duco's skates. Stepping up from the point is Hartung. But not before Nick Rem plays it all the way back. Jake Lynch lets that one go behind him. As Owen Gupta with 10.5 to go in the second. 3 aside is the score. Connor Nickram, a junior in his first season with the Bulls program, tries to step into the offensive end where Owen Gupta is trying to clear it away defensively. Up, not out, Del Duco fighting along the boards. Del Duco gets a backhand back to center. And a quick flub there allows an opportunity for the Canes, but overskated. And Koo will just backhand that one so Miami gets some fresh legs out.
Skinger just couldn't get that one off his stick. Just skated a little bit too fast past it.
Castricani deep in, halfway through the game. Koo
stuck
in the corner. No one knew where it was, but Callahan pokes it along to keep this puck moving. Callahan from distance, rebound in front, scramble, Koo on the side of the net. And no one can quite get that one through as Cook was ready for it and all the way down for icing.
Man, but what an opportunity here for the Hurricanes. Nas does a good job getting that one on net, and Koo is a perfect opportunity. That's why they say, stay in front of the net and good things will happen for you. As Nas did a great job getting that one on net even for the opportunity.
9.5 in the second, where these two teams are level. These two sides will actually play 4 times straight as Cook has to swing his hand up in the air to collect.
So wild shot there that caught Cook by surprise.
So the D3 teams for USF and Miami, they play twice this weekend. They will play again tomorrow. That will be a 6 p.m. puck drop after the D2 squad starts things off at 3. And then they will go to USF in the beginning of November as Cook has to cover again. So this is also a really interesting scenario as well, because not only is this the first game of a back-to-back between USF and Miami, they actually play 4 times straight. It's just the next 2 are going to Tampa.
Yeah, this is, I mean, if you're a hockey fan, this is all you live for. And even a player, too, as we see the players that play for both sides.
They'll be very familiar with each other in the next 3 weeks, to say the least. Let's just put it that way, as they go to USF on the 2nd and 3rd of November. Behind the net, a quick little tangle up and a wrestle down. No call there, as no one really got possession either way. So will be Shera the other direction. Shera has a man watching him as Brandon Stein, as he dumps his man, but it's still stuck in the skates. Castricani got it free, but not around. Across it goes as the shot is denied by Brooks. Second chance for Brooks. Still whacking away at that. No one can quite poke it in. Brooks is still there, still loose. It's a scramble in front. No one can get it through, and it makes its way to the corner. Back to the point. Across for Lenahan. Back across, takes a deflection and out of play. But Jamie Brooks, he has seen chaos and has controlled the whole way through.
I mean, absolute mayhem in front of the net. But Brooks just really couldn't find the puck. A ton of green jerseys. Actually, the entire Miami roster, or the line rather, was in that crease, so caused a bit of confusion.
But at the end of the day, it does provide an opportunity to reset. And great on Jamie Brooks for keeping his position. Just know, as long as you kind of just stay big in this frame of net, you should be relatively good. That's what happened there for U Miami to walk away still tied after all said and done. Dylan O'Connor, Tampa native, goes into the corner where it's swatted away by Michelini. Michelini makes it up for Matt Rocket, who scored the lone goal in the second period for UM. Block, squeezes the leg back, across for Hartung. hesitates, tries to take, goes through a leg, kept in, fires a shot with Michelini, but it goes wide off of a deflection. 7:40 in the second. The Bulls will just dump it in after the red line, so no icing. Brandon Stein almost had some miscommunication with his D partner, but it's taken away by Rocket, and now it's a chance for a potential 4-on-2 for the Canes. Brandon Stein leaves it behind for Rocket. Rocket had Fox with him, but USF will claim it back. Now it's a loose puck, block. He's got it for Rocket. Kept in by Brandon Stein. Charlie Brandon Stein, a freshman, tries to cycle it around, but not before it is taken away by USF. Stuck in the referee's skate as it's Colby Mang trying to get it loose. Glove down for Brandon Stein, who's got an assist so far today. And Brandon Stein decided to hold, I would have just shot it directly at the USF bench to maybe force too many men there, as they were in a jumble trying to get some substitutions on, but at the end of the day, it will be offsides. So if you're Charlie Brandon Stein in the corner, you see USF's bench right in front of you, there's mayhem there trying to get substitutions. Do you maybe just throw it there, try to force it too many men, or do you just do what he did, let the play reset, and try to get something the other direction on the other wall? Because you know everyone's on the one side.
I really think that the Canes are looking for any kind of offensive presser that they want, so I think Brandon Stein really just was looking for some players, but to no avail. But either way,
6:21 to go in the second. It's an opportunity for Jackson Keller as he walks in. Brooks with the kick out. Back for Sullivan. Goes to the high slot. Can't get it to go. Eventually the Canes get it out. Not deep enough for icing, so it is Caritas, who is a senior trying to get things through. And a chance off the bench for Michelini to retrieve. Two Bulls breathing down his neck. A quick little fumble kept in play by USF. Fox tries to go in. Quick chance. Brooks, couple of saves there, and Brooks keeps it out once more. 5:41 in the second. The Bulls are still on it. Poked away, swatted down, broken stick on the play, and then it's gloved down by Brooks after the shot from Sullivan. And now we've got some of the jawing back and forth. No pushing and shoving yet like the last game, but at least I've been noticing that they've been a little more verbal between whistles, to say the least.
yeah, no, for sure. I mean, no drop gloves yet, but, you know, lots of time left to go. But obviously, the chirps will happen always. It happens in every game of hockey, but we'll just see if it escalates. I don't think it will, but you never know.
I'm sure they saw the last game and saw the consequences of some of the guys going one step too far. They don't want to repeat the mistakes of about 2 hours ago, rather. But it's a misplay by USF. They have to reclaim in their own zone, so Cook is out of his net. Lenahan is disrupted by Del Duco. Callahan along with them on the board battle. Ricky Kashikani. And Koo spins it forward to prevent icing. Just under 5 in the second. Callahan works in the corner. He's got Del Duco with him. Makes its way around and kept in by Kashikani. Callahan continues to fight. And not before USF are able to clear, and now it's a chance. It's a 1v1. Brooks is off his net to play it. Dangerous puck by Jamie Brooks as John Kroc had a potential breakaway, but Brooks with the heads up.
Man, Brooks, just with a heads up play. Kind of dangerous, but it ended up paying off.
Del Duco sends that one in, and Cook will cover.
Miami got caught in a bit of a change there. Some thought they were offside, but nevertheless, it'll be an offensive zone draw here for the Hurricanes. It's 4:06.
It's also built a little bit unique because you had 15 skaters in the first game. You have 16 skaters in this game. So that requires 9 forwards and 7D. And just overall with the 7D, you're having to jumble up defensive pairing to fit that 7D in there. Or do what Tom loves to do, what Tom and Mello loves to do, which is put a defender sometimes in a forward line. Block with the poke out, and now it's a chance for a 2-on-1. Here goes Ethan Block. He's got a man with him. Block fires and into the chest of Cook.
What a great little maneuver there by Bloch. I mean, we see him around. He finds its way to the puck, gets it around the USF defender, and then gets into the zone and gets a hard quality shot on the goaltender. What you want to see, shots on net, obviously. Still tied here, but any of those can find their way in.
Brandon Stein holds on. He had a body in front of him. That was Petrov with a block. And Brandon Stein wins it back. Brandon Stein, he's got Fox in front. Brandon Stein fires, and it's Cook again. Three and a half to go in the second, where it's 3 aside. Very clean period so far. There's been a lot of clutching and grabbing as that one gets deflected wide. They had Hartung and Fox in front. Gets cleared, not out. Michelini keeps it in. Michelini again. Matt Rocket steps up. Michelini once again with the keep in, trying to maintain the offensive zone time. As Brandon Stein right in front for Fox. But Fox gets whacked a couple of times by Maxwell. Fox again. Back to the point, Brandon Stein with a slapper, and it is Cook who has to squeeze.
Brandon Stein had a great idea trying to get the puck tipped in front, but we see Fox here kind of circling around, kind of find his man, and Brandon Stein just lets that one fly. One of those will end up in the back of the net. I guarantee you a tip puck always finds its way back in the net. It's just got to find the right stick.
Sometimes maybe not even a stick. Maybe he'll just sneak through entirely. It just finds the right hole. In front, the swing and a miss goes as Anzaldi was trying to go, but he struck out. Owen Gupta has to chase back. He's got a man in support. That's going to be Fox. Nate Koo escapes, skims across the line, and kept in play. First chance, no. Second chance, no again. Gupta's got Anzaldi. As Nate Koo lets that one go for Berman. Asher Berman looking for his first point as a Kane with 2 minutes to go in the second. That's a heavy collision in the corner, and that'll be a power play for the University of Miami.
Yeah, a hard hit there by big number 25. That was Wenvig. Took a big shot at Berman. And the Canes will go on the power play here with 2:01 left to go. And this is one of those things, right? These are one of those roughing? Elbow, excuse me. Yeah, we saw that in both games, though, today. Lots of elbows being thrown in the air. As the Canes, with 2 minutes to go, basically left in the second period, will have 2-minute power play. This is where you need to capitalize to take this lead going into that crucial third period.
1 second difference between power play clock and game clock. Second period of play, level at 3. Who takes the advantage? UM does on the draw. Distance try, hits a body in front. That was Callahan. But attempting to skate away with it is Lamont, and eventually gets on the shot.
Offensive zone time is pressure here in this power play.
Brandon Stein has Callahan with him alongside of Koo, Skinger, and Michelini. Matt Callahan spins around. Callahan tries to weave in, and attempting to keep it in is Michelini, but cannot do so as the follow-through gets taken by USF.
On the next cycle. I want to see Callahan really try to distribute that puck more. He had a lot of guys open. He could have fed that one too, but instead turned the puck over.
Into the UM bench off of the deflection. Now this spot of the faceoff will be very interesting if it goes towards neutral or back in the USF zone. This will go to Cook's right. But the referees are still discussing the spot of the drop.
Might be, yeah, it's going to be right outside the blue line.
So now that it's in the USF, zone, that changes things a little bit. There's no price of entry. As Callahan finds the open man, it goes back to the point for Brandenstein. Game clock and penalty clock are synced up. Brandenstein fires, that one goes off the blocker as the windup was taken by Henry Skinger. Skinger lets it fall for him as he backhands it for Brandenstein. Brandenstein winds up, took a stick, that's Lynch. Callahan behind the net. Across, in front, scramble in front of the slot. No one can take it. Brandenstein settles and it's poked out by Lynch. Lynch takes on Callahan as he starts skating up ice. Lynch shoots, takes a shot off of Brooks and out. Final 20 to go in the period and the power play. Jackson Keller. They might just be trying to eat up the last couple of seconds as it's just for Brandenstein, and will there be one last opportunity? Matt Callahan goes across. He's got Kashikani. Is that one shot in, and that'll do it for period number 2.
Much more cleaner period there for the D3 Canes. I mean, if you look at the score in the period, it's 1-0. So, I mean, I think they won that period. They did win that period. Now it'll be important to see how they approach this third period, right? Do they come out firing, right? Do they come out on all cylinders as the penalty just expired?
Well,
or
as the second period started, they did score in under 2 minutes to start the second period. So
do they come out with the same fire?
Of course, and even the D2 game, we saw that similar kind of trend where they started off with a goal or heavy offensive pressure right out of the gate after the opening puck drop of the period. It's kind of been one of the MOs of Tom Amello so far this season. Maybe they haven't fallen through yet because of the chemistry and trying to piece together the rosters, but it has to be promising if you are UM, seeing that every single time they come out of the gate with the fresh ice, the fresh air, they have come out firing on all cylinders right out of the gate.
Yeah, no, it's been a very, very good period overall. I'm very proud of how this team has kind of developed over these first games. I mean, they started 0-3, right? But over these last two, they've just battled and fought their way back into games. I mean, they were down 1 early. So, I mean, we just got to see what's going to happen.
Absolutely. One final period to go. We're down by 40, 20 remain. Period number 3 when we come back.
I'm here with Owen Gupta in this second intermission here at Kendall Ice Arena here in Kendall, Florida. Now, Owen, can you kind of walk me through that second period? Obviously a better period than the first. What do you think went right?
I think we came out just a little more defensively strong. We weren't letting them get to the middle like we were in the first period. We were a little soft on the puck in the first, but there's still some stuff to be done. Across the board, we were all slower, so even though we got that goal and tied it up, we definitely got to speed it up a little bit for the third.
Yeah, now what do you think you can improve on to that third period as well?
So that skating harder, just making sure we're strong on the puck. We were strong in that period, which is great. Just got to make sure that continues throughout the game because that was what hurt us in the first.
Yeah, what do you think the difference has been between the first 3 games and these last 2? They've obviously been better.
Yeah, I mean this is the first game I've played with this team, but from what I've seen, it's kind of the things I've been saying, just like making sure we're going hard at the puck, not giving it up. Just not letting them get around us in an easy way. I think that's what was happening a lot earlier. We're just letting them push us around. So just making sure we're strong and playing our game to our ability.
Absolutely. Physicality has been a big part of this Miami Hurricanes D3 squad. That'll do it for this interview. Thank you so much to Owen for joining us this intermission. We will see you back at the start of this third period. Yeah.
We return here for the third and final period between the University of South Florida Bulls and the Miami Hurricanes, where it's knotted up at 3-a-side after 40 minutes of play. It's been a hard-fought battle with these two squads when the D2 teams kicked off back at 7 o'clock. We are now at University of Miami Hockey After Dark. So thank you so much for joining us as we're a quarter hour prior to midnight. We're at a dozen minutes towards, if you want to be exact about it, but we carry on regardless for the third and final period. Connor Stein, Ryan Lee with you. Thank you so much for joining us here on this Friday night. And Connor, you got a chance to speak with Owen Gupta at the half. He was talking about some of the things that could be adjusted in the third period. What was the number one thing that he said could be an adjustment that you really carried away?
Well, what I got the main gist from is keeping the pucks on net and skating hard. That's the main two things that he kind of preached to me during that interview. It seems like the team, as he stated in that first period, was just kind of flat-footed, just letting USF kind of come on them. But as we saw in that very well-played second period by the Canes, they skated a lot harder and got pucks on net.
It was 3-2 Bulls after the first. It is now 3-3 as we start the third period off. Miami in green, they'll go from right to left in the third period with USF in the whites going from left to right. Ryan Lee, Connor Stein, our entire University of Miami broadcast crew with you as we are here for the third and final period of play. The physical and the physicality and the speed continue to be factors as we come along here for this third period. As a couple of shots towards the net get kicked away by Cook. Second chance goes. That one doesn't find its way through.
Del Duco, another great opportunity right in front of the net.
USF are not very happy about the icing call, but because it made its way for Brandon Stein, who just got a toe ahead of the USF Bull Kyle Fink, it will come back for icing, and Tomamelo will use this chance for a wholesale change, trying to get some other guys like Michelini and Callahan on the ice as Callahan collects it after the draw. Around it goes. Luca Fox fights for it. He wants to go for Callahan in the low slot, but it goes over everyone's head, kept in by Michelini. Michelini wanted Callahan, but it skips over his stick, so it is going to be Matt Rocket. Rocket with Fox and Callahan attempting to go out. Callahan takes a stumble. No penalty call there as it looked like the stick was between Callahan's legs. An opportunity for DIII. He gets bodied off. Left behind. Swing and a miss, and they score! The first shot was a flop, but the second chance made its way through. And USF take the 4-3 lead, their first of the game.
Yeah, this is kind of what we saw in the first period. Just a lot of sleepy play, not really racing to the puck, and Kyle Fink just takes full advantage, goes far side on Jamie Brooks. And the Bulls, just like that, take a 4-3 lead.
So Kyle Fink, that is his first goal. That is his first point. And we are only under 90 seconds in. And now, how will UMiami respond in a 4-3 game? Callahan charges in with Fox trying to go around, and that will be a hand pass on the whistle down.
A lot sloppier of a start of a period from the Canes, a lot different than that second period. We will see if they are able to recover.
Face-off is to Cook's left.
USF's bench is asking for the zone draw to be, I believe, right outside the blue line, but I think the refs are going to explain that why it's an offensive draw for the Canes.
They're trying to argue the placement of the face-off because they thought it was a UM hand pass. It's actually a USF hand pass, which is why it's back in their own zone. As USF take their first lead since the first period of play. Battle on the board. Lenahan brings it around where it makes its way for Dunlap. Back to the point, deflected off a Brooks stick. So that is the second assist for Landon DIII. And then it is Kyle Fink who is in front, gets his first goal, his first point as a member of the USF Bulls. As a quick flub there allows the poke in by Rocket. And that will be Kashikani who will dump it away. Wanted to go to the block.
He's got to be careful.
Have to be careful as Rocket was a little slow to get over the boards. Could have been dinged for 6 men, but he's not. He just got over in time as Mang just slings this one in. Joyce. One-handed poke up, makes its way for Jake Lynch. Kashikani in the corner. Nick Rem couldn't keep it in, but it is there for France. In front, across it goes. Nick Rem into the corner. Wants to go for Lynch as that one goes high and wide. Couldn't go past, but the Bulls are back on. It's kicked away by Brooks. Rebound in front. Flutters into the slot before it's cleared. Noah Caritas attempting to get it free is blocked, so Caritas has to retreat. He's got block on his tail, and it just comes back for Kashikani. Body up in front, couldn't get the shot through. Caritas sends it around. Nick Rem on the other end keeps it in play. Stepping up from the blue line is Wanvig. The USF still trying to make something go as they cycle the puck around. Lynch steps up, he tangles with Kashikani. Back to the point and out as Caritas could not keep it in. USF making some changes. Miami will do the same as we are a little over 4 minutes into the third period. Through the legs of Skinger. And swept away by Siegerman. Kept in play by USF. Holding on is Sullivan. Sullivan just skating circles around this Miami zone. Sullivan still hangs on, drops it off, sends it for Lynch, goes off of Brooks to the corner, and eventually out by Miami as Skinger looks to win the race but cannot as Sullivan is there first. Sullivan, he gets cut off, and now it's the chance for Siegerman. Siegerman wide angle, he's well wide. Kept in by Kashikani, scramble in front, couldn't get the berry. Kashikani towards net and covered up by Cook.
That was the first great opportunity there for the Hurricanes. Siegerman does a great job getting that puck off the USF Bulls stick. Just misses the net on the first try, and then Kashikani with another dangerous opportunity. Much of what we saw in that first game rather from him. But good to see the offense start to wake up a little bit.
Turnover and a shot. That one's missed the net, but still available for Miami. But now it's a foot race. Michelini has to retreat. It's the foot race won by Fink. Wide angle, and they score! For the first time in this game, we have a 2-goal lead, and it belongs to the USF Bulls. Kyle Fink gets goals number 1 and 2 on the season. He gets the last 2 for USF.
Yeah, Fink's kind of been their star this game. Second goal of the game for him. As we see here, that pass, he just outskates the Michelini and just goes short side, and it finds the back of the net.
A 2-goal hole for Miami as Rocket starts his engines, makes it around. Michelini, he got burned on the last play, won't let it go again. Dunlap tries to go. Follow-up chance is absorbed by Brooks. John Kroc couldn't get his first goal of the season as Jimmy Brooks was there the whole way through.
Michelini with almost a devastating turnover in the defensive zone. Was lucky no harm was done. Now the Canes, though, in a 2-goal hole as they look to chip into that one.
Long distance try, goes off of a stick. So Miami will skate it out. It should be enough for icing, and it is. I think we are officially in hockey after dark territory, aren't we, as we approach midnight?
And I think the players are starting to feel that as well. I can just tell just a lot of sleepy plays being done. But I mean, can you really blame them? It's midnight, but at the same time, you got to be ready for hockey, man. It's game time. You got to wake up.
You also have a whole set of 5 guys. That's a whole offensive line, and basically, who are playing back-to-back games. So we mentioned in the first period, the legs might be slowly feeling the gas. As it's poked around, Luca Fox wants to make it around for Ethan Block. In his first season from Scottsdale, Arizona, pitches it up for Matt Callahan. Callahan lets that one free as gets some fresh legs up on the ice. But kept in play with Joyce coming off the bench, and he takes a collision. And that will be on USF, and Miami will get their 3rd power play of the game.
It's going to be on Nickerum. He kind of just took a whack. I think they're going to get him for a board. Yeah. But not the head coach is asking for an explanation, but I think that was pretty plain as day, to be completely frank with you, as this is a perfect time for the Canes to chip back into this 2-goal hole that they dug themselves in.
Connor Nickerum is the one who will sit down for 2 minutes as Henry Skinger will take the dots with Koo and Callahan on his flank, with Brandon Stein and Michelini behind him. And the official might have taken some contact to his lower half as well as he stretches things out, but the other official is trying to give the proper explanation before we resume play with 12:53 in the 3rd. Up, not out. Michelini closes it down. Michelini looks for his options. He's got Callahan. Callahan up tight, saved by Cook. Cleared up but not out. Brandon Stein keeps it in. Brandon Stein. Michelini. Michelini winds up into the glove. Cook couldn't keep it in. Koo. Fight along the boards and make its way back for Charles Brandon Stein, the freshman from West Islip, New York, looking for his first goal of the season. Brandon Stein shot off of Cook, and the follow-up couldn't be poked in as it is Callahan behind the net. Brandon Stein waits as Michelini takes over. Coup down. Michelini sends it across. Skinger back for Michelini. 1 minute to go on the power play. Michelini from distance goes in front, and we have another delayed penalty coming up against USF again, it looks like. So we will have a 5-on-3 for Miami.
They're going to get Jacob Lynch for that one. The senior from Lithia, Florida. Didn't quite see what happens, but nevertheless, 5-on-3 hockey here with 11:48 to go.
Face-off one, Callahan steps in, fires, he goes wide. Koo wanted Callahan again. Koo takes a two-handed shove from behind. Callahan behind the net, pokes it back for Brandenstein. 42 on the 5-on-3, 145 on the man advantage. Michelini goes too high, and Brandenstein can't keep it in. So roughing for Lynch, and another 28 on the boarding from Nikrem. Michelini bobs and weaves, plays it around. Back up top, Brandenstein winds up and he missed the net. Skinger, another 12 to go on the 5-on-3. Michelini's got Callahan behind the net. Callahan, 7 seconds to go on 5-on-3. Across, winds up is wide. That'll do it for the 5-on-3. We used to have a regular 5-on-4 power play. For another minute to go, Callahan, he missed the net. As it's played up by Keller, but not out. Callahan, he's got Michelini on the near side, but doesn't see him. Callahan and Koo can't combine. Michelini up top. Michelini, 41 in the power play. Goes across, had Koo and Callahan. Off aim on both of them. Brandenstein. And that one is sent down by USF as they make a wholesale change. Miami will do the same.
This power play, Miami's going to want it back as they were unable to do anything really with it. Got some solid offensive zone pressure, but not really anything too notable.
Final 10 seconds left, and that will be it for the man advantage for UM. So we're back to 5 aside, and that puts UM at 0 for 5 on the power play in today's game. They only had 4 power play goals the whole season, which is towards the bottom 5 of Division III in College Hockey South. A pivot for Kroc. Across for Mang. Mang gives it a go into the top mesh and out of play. As we have 9:20 to go in a 2-goal game.
Sorry, partner. That UM's really just got to clean up things here in the third period. This game has really gotten away from them. I mean, this was a 3-3 game left. I mean, going into this third period, just got to clean up some things on the offensive zone draws, on the defensive zone draws.
Hits a body up in front as Kashikani tries to fish it out of his own end. Kashikani with a one-handed poke, but not enough to clear the blue line. That eventually makes its way across as the race at center ice is taken by Dunlap, who has a hard collision on Kashikani, and Dunlap is down on the ice.
I don't even think Kashikani meant to do that.
So Kashikani and Dunlap, it might have just been some incidental contact that slid into the boards. So good news is that Jacob Dunlap is back on his 2 feet. The sophomore in his first season, originally from Orlando, Florida, is playing in his 4th game with the USF Bulls. He had some tangle-ups with Kashikani. The officials were trying to make the training staff, they were trying to make their way onto the ice, but it's actually a long walk from where the trainers are set up to where their entrance is on the ice, which was the cause for the delay. But always good news to see a player back on his own 2 feet. Nothing about that to me was maybe malicious on Kashikani's part, but it was a lot of contact. It did slide its way into the boards.
Looks like
and at the end of the day, physics will take over.
Looks like they're testing.
Concussion looks like
Yeah.
the way that the trainers are trying to wave the fingers. The eye test.
I guess they're giving him the okay. Were they like booing the trainer on the ice? I was so confused.
I think they were trying to say get her on here sooner, but the way the Kendall Ice Arena is set up, the only way on is through the Miami bench, but the trainer's station is where the locker rooms are, which is at the ends and not in the middle, so it's a little bit of an awkward layout. Granted, she was making her way there. It just maybe wasn't necessarily before USF decided to
It's also
say
not
their
easy.
piece, to say the least.
It's not easy to walk on ice either.
Distance try, saved by Brooks, cleared out after the attempt by Colby Mang.
That
Mang
penalty.
looking for his first goal of the season. Couldn't get that one through in game number 29 in his 3rd season of College Hockey South play. As it is taken away, the attempt there by Koo, but it makes its way back to Lamont. Lamont can't get past Koo, but eventually does with the assistance of Dylan O'Connor. Has a man near side, Kyle Fink. He's got 2. Does he have a hat trick in him? Lamont from the point, off of a leg. Half wall it goes for Mang. And eventually it makes its way for Fox and down the length of the ice a minute into the power play for USF. Brandon Stein tries to get it out but cannot do so. He took the knee but couldn't get it out. Jackson Keller keeps it in. 45 to go on the man advantage for USF. They're 1 for 2 on the day on the power play. Back up top for Keller. Keller, Mang, wide angle. Brooks with a save. No follow-up as Callahan collects. Callahan elects to skate instead of shoot. Callahan, he's got a goal already. Goes backhander, but it's off of Cook. And it dislodged the net in the process.
Yeah, that kind of caught Cook by surprise. As you saw, he pushed the net right behind him. So, wait. What did they call on that, actually? Was it an off net? Did they blow it dead for the...
So the net was off. They just put it back on so quickly because Callahan was in
Wow, that was
end of
smooth.
things. And we might have another clock issue again. We saw this in the first game where there were some mishaps with the clock. And they might be trying to fix them once more as the clock might have run a little bit. We had a chance to speak with the scorekeepers between sessions, and they were having issues in the first game, trying to hopefully get a clean one for round 2, but maybe not necessarily the case as they try to add their seconds back on. And the faceoff is won by Miami, shorthanded, deep in the USF end. Clock had to be stopped because of the runoff, and now we're back to even strength. Carter Sullivan cuts in, and he scores! It's 6-3 for USF as Carter Sullivan gets his way through and has a point in all 4 games this season.
Yeah, Carter Sullivan really just catches the Canes sleeping once again. He just kind of goes coast to coast, gets around his man, and the Hermantown, Minnesota native buries it. 6-3 now, man. Talk about a complete switch. I mean, just completely different style of play this period.
That's captain level stuff right there when you go coast to coast on your own. Carter Sullivan, that's at least a point in all 4 games so far for USF D3. And now's the chance to go in. That goes into the glove of Brooks on the release from Alexei Petrov.
This game has just really gotten away from the Canes. They basically controlled the whole second period, won that period 1-0, and then this one, just the floodgates have just opened up for the Bulls. 3 straight goals and 6:24 left to go. We'll see if they can make something happen, the Canes.
Here goes Luis Del Duco, goes across and can't connect with Elzaldi. A transfer transition for Hardin Sherrill. He takes a collision right in front of the UM bench. Things are getting scrappy again as Trevor Blazak tries to cut in. He pops a tire. Near side, quick tuck in attempted. Couldn't get it for Sherrill again. UM couldn't get that one out of their zone as USF, someone makes it through as Block lays down the body.
It's a clean hit.
Kashikani comes in, leaves it behind. He's got the poke check. Block with a reverse hit. As that's a quick step up. Kashikani with the glove down on the Anzaldi try. Anzaldi backhands, goes off the side of the net. Block has his stick tied up in the hands. No call there, as that could have easily been a hook. But Anzaldi is back on it as it's slapped around by Sherrill. .5:10 to go in the third, and that is going to be way offsides as Kashikani was still stuck inside of the USF zone.
Yeah, Nas had ahead of steam. Just Kashikani's caught, stuck behind the play. Just really slow. They've really slowed down in this third period. They got to start ramping it up quick with just over 5 minutes to go.
A quick flub there as it's poked away by John Joyce. Couldn't make anything go of it as the USF are already back on it, but Joyce continues to hack and whack as Gupta chases down for no icing. Could have easily called it there, but maybe not so much. Maybe the players aren't the only one with a little fatigue getting to their heads. As that one gets banked in, as the scramble in front finally makes its way through, and that's 7-5 for UCF, 7-3 for UCF. That's 4 straight unanswered in the third period of play.
Yeah, this kind of looked a little harmless. Gupta really lost that puck there. Gets trapped behind the net, and then a shot, and then a rebound, and it gets buried there by Coley Mang, Oviedo, Florida native. That was his first of the year.
The junior winger gets his first of the season, increases USF's lead to 4 as USF and UMiami, both the D2 and the D3 sides, respectively, will square off again tomorrow. And if you're Tom Amello, considering how things have gone, how things went so well in the first and second, and how things kind of crumbled underneath them in the third, what type of adjustments do you maybe have to make overnight to prevent a similar outcome tomorrow?
Yeah, I think it just comes down to cleaning up defensive play in your own zone. I mean, that just countless, in both games, honestly, D2 and D3, even though D2 got the win, just cleaning up the defensive errors and just cleaning up the overall defensive play is very crucial. Also, they haven't really even been in the USF offensive zone at all this period. So that's another thing that they needed to do. Just maintaining pressure, not relying on their top guys, because depth is obviously important. You need to have more people contributing, obviously. And good things will go their way, but we will see how tomorrow goes with 4 minutes to go left in this one.
4 minutes to go in a 4-goal game. Dumped down as Michelini chases. Both these two squads are back at it tomorrow. That's a 6 p.m. puck drop. But as after the D2 squads go at each other That's a puck drop starting at 3. All of it here on the U Miami Hockey Network on YouTube. As we are just over 3.5 to go. Jarred loose by Matt Rockets, who couldn't get free.
Yeah, but I think the number one thing that you circle here is just the turnovers by the Canes, and then just like the defensive errors, like right there.
Couldn't get it out as it's poked up in front. Brooks has to make a save as he had a man right in his face. That was John Kroc looking for his first point in his first season of College Hockey South.
I think what we're also seeing here is like the signs of playing too much hockey for some of the guys that played back-to-back. It's just become too much for them in this latter part of the third period.
As you kind of see, the game continues to progress. Guys like Koo and Callahan, their ice minutes maybe not declining, but maybe lower in quality as the play goes on. And that can definitely add up over time as well. Well, good for those guys is they'll have at least a full night to get back into the swing of things. And the question there for Tom Amello is, do you allow those guys to go back-to-back again, play 4 games in a single weekend, or do you potentially rest some of those guys for the D2 game, save them for the D3 game, or vice versa? Let them play the D2 game, sit out the D3 game.
You can mix and match. You can mix and match with the squad.
Of course, absolutely. That's part of the big puzzle that Tom Amello has to solve, because USF, they brought 2 whole completely different rosters, but with U Miami, it's like 1.5 rosters. They have a set of guys they know are D2 guys, a set of guys they know are D3 guys, and a couple of guys who can go either way. And we've seen those guys play in both games.
2 ways, if you will. Yeah. No, it's just like a completely different scene on the bench over here. I mean, you got guys that have been just waiting to play all night, and on the other side, you have maybe a bit shorter of a bench and just guys hanging their heads because they've already played a game. I mean, they're tired.
Give a credit to some of those guys, Kashikani, Brandon Stein. You know, you got Koo and Callahan amongst them. And even Jamie Brooks, even though he didn't play, he was on the bench for that D2 game, so he had to be at the ready in case anything happened to Max Hoffman.
Yeah, and there was that scary scene with him off the mask earlier. That could have been detrimental.
But so far, things are continuing on. With 2 minutes to go in the third period, it's a 4-goal advantage for the South Florida Bulls as they continue to hack and whack at it on the near side, but cannot come home with their 5th goal on the advantage, as it is kept in by Kyle Fink. Back to the point for Luke Lamont, as it's in the near side. Brooks with the initial save. Second chance goes, and the third one. How did that stay out? Jamie Brooks, what a save with 93 seconds to go.
I mean, I'm a Tampa Bay Lightning fan. That was a Vasilevsky type save. For those who watch the Lightning, I mean, absolutely show-stopping save. Held that glove all the way behind his body and kept that one out of the back of the net. I mean, just some of those feel-good moments that you'll remember in a game like this, right? When you're down 4, you're just trying to get any kind of positive out of this kind of game. As there's an opportunity here for John Joyce. John Joyce comes right in.
Couldn't get it past Ryan Cook, but a follow-up chance available with just under a minute and a half to go as Michelini continues to fight for it. He's got Block along with him. Block bodies off his man. He's got 2 Bulls and 1 Cane, and eventually Anzaldi tries to jar it loose, and eventually goes for Joyce. Final minute of the third period. These two play again tomorrow, another doubleheader. However, tomorrow's set will be a matinee matchup to start things off. D2 at 3, D3 will play at 6. So that's another 6 hours of hockey for the Canes faithful as they try to dump it out, makes its way towards center.
Gotta love it, right, though? All the hockey you want here at Kendall Ice Arena. Please make sure to tune in tomorrow. it will be a very exciting day.
Anzaldi with a try, and it's held on by Cook. So the final 20 seconds remain after Ryan Cook holds on. He has only played one game with the D3 squad, and that was for 15 minutes against Embry-Riddle in their opener. He now gets his first complete start for the freshman from Fort Lauderdale, comes back to the South Florida region to get his first win in College Hockey South as a member of the South Florida Bulls. As we await the final seconds, that'll do it here in Kendall. The freshman, Ryan Cook, gets his first win in his first start, and the University of Miami, they will take their fourth loss in 5 games. That drops them down to 1-4-0 on the season, while USF will jump up to 2-2. Well, that'll do it for us in our doubleheader. Thank you so much for sticking with us our entire way through. For entire University of Miami broadcast crew, with Connor Stein, I'm Ryan Lee. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your night.